context of what Dick just talked about to lead into what I am going to talk about, which is why are we in Afghanistan right now? What work that's so important are our soldiers, or the young men and women who Dick is supporting through all of your efforts? Why are we there, and why is that so important to us as a country? And why is it so important also to the Afghan people? I'd like to talk a little bit about both of those things and to backtrack and just let you know how I went from being on Beacon Hill, as Larry said, to becoming involved with helping to train lawyers and judges in Afghanistan and working toward rule of law in Afghanistan. Rule of law is a sort of abstract sounding thing. It's not like Christmas gifts or something you can easily wrap your mind around, but it's something that we here in America take for granted every single day of our life. Rule of law simply means that you know what to expect from your country, you know what to expect from your police officers, from the folks who run the jails and prisons, from the people who act as judges. You know what the laws are, you know how they're going to be enforced, and it's the same for everyone. It's fair for everyone. Everyone is treated equally under the law. And that if you have rights in your Constitution, that those rights are rights you can actually use. We as Americans would fight and die for that. And we have fought and died for that as Americans throughout our time as a country. We believe in rule of law. And what I have been working on with the State Department in Afghanistan is to try to help the Afghan people have that same sort of security under their new constitution, to make sure that Afghan women can actually exercise the rights, the equal rights that they have been given in their constitution, but are still so hard for them to make a reality in their culture. And about 2 years ago, right around Christmas time, Condoleezza Rice founded something called the Public-Private Partnership for Justice Reform in Afghanistan. It's a really long title for a really easy idea, which is that she wanted private lawyers, law firms, law schools here in the U.S. who really understand what it means to live in a country where laws are valued and honored, to reach out to the Afghan people and help train Afghan lawyers and judges and police officers and try to create a bond, people to people, from our people to the Afghan people, to help them create this new nation that they're struggling to create, and that our brave young men and women are fighting and dying to help them create. And so what we have done is we've gone out and we've raised money, very much like Dick. We've gone out to law firms and to private practitioners, defense lawyers, bar associations, and said to them, help us reach out and bring over groups of prosecutors, groups of female lawyers and judges for training here. Help us give scholarships to the best and the brightest young people in Afghanistan to come and study law in the United States so they can see how it works, so they can actually understand what a free country would look like, so they can understand why we would actually sacrifice the lives of Americans to give someone else that privilege to experience freedom, to know what that is. And personally, if I could tell a story from my experience in the last couple of years, after I left office, the president asked Andy Card and me to go over to Taiwan for the inaugural of their second democratically elected president, President Ma. And what I found so astounding about this was that President Ma spoke more beautifully about the importance of democracy and freedom there in a state in Taiwan, which is threatened constantly by China, than I've ever heard any American speak about it. And I asked him, where did you learn about democracy? And he said, I was educated in America. I studied law in America. I know what it can mean to a people. And I want the Taiwanese people to have that experience as well. And the chief judge of the Supreme Court in Taiwan also had an education here in America. And he learned about democracy and rule of law here. And he was taking that gift, that education, and applying it in Taiwan for the Chinese people. And I believe that we can give that same gift, that same vision to the Afghan people if we can simply find the future leaders and bring them here to the United States and give them firsthand experience seeing what democracy is like, and seeing what freedom is like, and seeing what rule of law feels like.